Morning. Remember, you get the local news anytime at WNIR.com, sponsored by Apollo Heating and Cooling, and Akron area forecast and radar always a click away at WNIR.com, sponsored by Don Joseph, Toyota Sign and Kent, 13 Windshield 4 at the Talk of Akron, WNIR.
On this date in 1976, the second best-selling album of all time, next only to Michael Jackson's Thriller, was released. None other than the Eagles.
Eagles, yeah.
Greatest hits 71 to 75. This was their big number one hit that really put them on the map. Co-written by Jackson Browne and Glenn Frey.
I always like the Eagles. Angela, do you like the Eagles?
I like a couple of their songs, yeah.
She's not a big fan.
That's okay. I mentioned Michael Jackson for you.
I love Michael Jackson. I love me some Michael.
Michael Jackson.
Outside of Winslow, Arizona, is the Barringer Meteor Crater. And it's 2 miles, almost 3 miles wide. It's as deep as the World Trade Centers were, 1,100 feet deep. And it was impacted about 50,000 years ago by a meteorite or an asteroid the size of a school bus. So there's your history lesson for the day in terms of that. Now, why do I bring that up? Well, today, did you hear about the meteorite or asteroid? Will be flying within the orbit of most of our satellites today. Did you hear about it?
Wow,
why not?
Yeah.
It is 3 football fields big, okay? So it would be, do you remember a year ago Saturday was the 1 year anniversary of the one that came across Russia?
Yeah, remember that with all the pictures and everything?
Sonic booms and everything?
Yeah, that was crazy.
It was the size of a school bus. So imagine, how many school buses could you put in?
Yeah.
I mean, this is big, 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 big. So we'll see what happens today.
Is that today? When's it supposed to happen again?
It's actually going to happen later this evening.
Cool.
Now, here's the
Hope I'm
ironic thing.
sleeping.
We've known about this meteorite for years and been watching it for years, right?
No.
Found out about it 3 weeks ago.
So,
Dun, dun, dun.
you just never know, dude.
You never know.
If it hits.
If
Something
it
like
hits.
that hits.
Yeah, what are you
Yeah.
going to do?
That big.
Yeah, welcome back. John Denning back in the saddle. Thank you, Philip and Jim Isabella, we had a good time up at the swim park up in Sandusky.
Did you have your Scooby-Doo swim shirts?
I did. Well, you know what? I got funny looks because of my Speedo. I was walking around with my Speedo like the old guys do down at in Miami, down at
It's
South
definitely a
Beach.
fashion faux pas.
I was in the minority. Ask me why.
Why?
I was the only man without a tattoo.
Really?
Oh, every person in there. Little kids had tattoos. They had the little henna tattoo.
temporaries?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we had a good time. It was cold and it was fun. So,
Well, good. You deserve it.
We're back at it. We're back at it. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I deserve it, right? President's Day question for you. How famous does one need to be considered assassinated versus just murdered? For example, can only elected officials be assassinated versus murdered is my question. I don't know.
Good question.
How famous do you have to be what do you define the difference between the assassination and just a plain old murder? So there's your President's Day question. How many presidents have been assassinated? There's a trivia question for you. So, now, I've argued about that guns don't kill people. Crazy people kill people. And then President Obama and some of the other gun grabbers wanted to take away our guns. But they don't want to do anything about Craigslist. And it brings me to the subject of our Falls Heating and Cooling and Comfort Maker heating and cooling equipment.
dangerous
story.
out there.
WNIR.com. A female killer is accused of possible killing of dozens of people. She's 19 years of age.
She said she stopped counting when she hit 22
people, and she's using Craigslist, and she solicited the man for adult relations for $100, and she said he said the wrong things. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Did you read this?
Yeah.
The Satanist cult.
Yep.
And so how many locally in Akron? We had the situation where the elderly man in the Stowe High School the Craigslist killer was a movie. How many should the United States of America, should they say eminent domain against Craigslist and shut it down, is my question to you.